that are available to buy a house with as little as 0% down. So just give me a couple of seconds more. We're just doing a little bit of housekeeping on our end. We're gonna be starting the live seminar in a couple of seconds. Just bear with me, please. Don't go anywhere. I guarantee that at the end of this 30-minute webinar, you're gonna be empowered with a few tips that would allow you to put you on the right path towards home ownership. Just give me a couple of more moments, couple of more seconds, and we're gonna be going live very, very soon. All right, so we are live. My name is Jerry Torres. I'm with Vision One Mortgage, and I welcome you to another first-time home buyer webinar where we're gonna be educating you on the different advantages of being a homeowner, the different options that you have in order to buy a house with as little as 0% down. Even if you have less than perfect credit, if you have no proof of income, and if you have credit issues in the past, don't worry, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how we can overcome those obstacles by having the right education, the right knowledge. Okay, let's dive into the content. This webinar is for you if, number one, you are looking to buy or refinance a house today or in the near future and you don't know where to start. Guys, interest rates are very, very low. If you have been on the sidelines to refinance your house, put some of the equity, put your kids through college, expand the property, invest in a business, this might be the right time to do it. Number two, this webinar is for you if you want to buy a house and you don't think you have enough money to do so. Let me show you how you can buy a property with 0% down and even financing a good portion of the closing cost. And this webinar is for you if you want to buy a house and you don't think you can because you have less than perfect credit. Credit is probably the easiest things to fix when it comes to applying for a mortgage. So let me show you what the keys, what you need to do in order to fix your credit in as quickly as 30 days or even less. So today we're gonna be discovering again how to buy a house with how much down? 0% down. A unique way to finance a good portion of the closing cost so you can come up with little money out of pocket. How to buy a house even if you have no legal status in the United States, no papers. Only if you have an ITIN, you can qualify for a mortgage. And some people in certain professions can receive a free gift, non-payable down payment assistance to cover the down. Okay, so again, stay tuned and I'm gonna show you how to do that. And if you remain until the end of the webinar, which is gonna be close to 30 minutes, I'm gonna show you how you can claim a free $25 Home Depot card. I will be teaching you as much as I can in the limited time that we have together. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to show you how you can take it further with us by booking a free, no obligation, 30-minute over the phone consultation so that we can address any specific issues, any specific questions pertaining to your situation that we don't want to discuss in social media. Good or good? Okay. My name is Jerry Torres. I've been in real estate for over 17 years. I started this amazing journey back in, I don't know, 2003, working in Century 21 in the Norwalk office. And thank God and thank you, thanks to coaching and training, I quickly became the number one agent in that office. But today, my pride and joy is having my family. Real estate gives me the ability to um, work smart, I would say, not too hard. But right now, my pride and joy is my family, my two kids. Rebecca, she's almost 6. She's going to kindergarten, so I'm trying to adjust to the new schedule. Okay, and Nathan, he's 3, and he's such a bright boy. Anyway, I love educating. I started hosting live classes, and then, by leveraging technology, I learned that I can reach more people by having this web classes. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this because in my heart, I'm a teacher. I love educating, I love empowering people with the right knowledge so that they can become homeowners, which is the American dream. So, what's happening in real estate? Is it a good time to buy or refinance? Yes, it is. It is being projected by the experts that property appreciation will continue through 2019, and it's being projected that in the United States of America, 4.1% of the properties, that's going to be the projected appreciation. So properties keep going up. The more you wait, the higher your payment. So don't wait. Don't be on the sidelines. Lose the fear and become a homeowner and start enjoying a lot of the benefits that we're going to be discussing just in a couple of seconds. So what's happening with rates? In July, according to Freddie Mac, the average mortgage 30-year fixed rate was at 3.75%. That's good news for people that, again, want to cash out, do a refi. Um, New laws has been passed, like for example, in LA County, you might be able to convert the garage into another, technically another unit, to for your mother-in-law or an elder to live there or get extra income. So there are a lot of opportunities in real estate. You just have to know what those opportunities are. Mark Fleming, the chief economist of First American, he said, if the 30-year fixed rate mortgage declines just a fraction more, consumer house buying power would reach its highest level in almost 20 years. So, in almost 20 years, more people have the ability to buy a house thanks to the low rates that we are experiencing in this hot summer. Okay, benefits of home ownership. Being a homeowner has its perks. Number one, equity. Every time that you make a monthly payment, guess what? A good portion of that payment pays down the principal balance, which is technically a forced equity. Now, a lot of people think, well, I don't know if I want to pay a mortgage, but, and they prefer to rent. Well, let me break you the bad news. When you are renting, you're still paying somebody else's mortgage. You're paying the mortgage plus something called profit. You're making your landlord rich. That kind of sucks, but it is the reality. So why not become a homeowner and start saving on a monthly basis? The other good news is when you have a mortgage, a good portion of that monthly payment pays for mortgage interest, which is deductible depending on your bracket. A lot of circumstances, you might be able to deduct up to $750,000 in mortgage interest. Now, I am not an attorney. I am not a CPA. A lot of the things that I'm going to be saying here, my suggestion is that you run it by a qualified professional. Okay. I am licensed to originate loans. A lot of tax and legal is best if you double check with qualified individuals. Okay. Now, profits, profits, profits. When you buy a house and you live 2 out of 5 years in the same property and you accumulate up to $500,000 if you're married and up to $250,000 if you're single, you don't have to pay taxes on that money. Isn't that good news? Well, try doing that in the stock market, and guess what? You're gonna be hit with capital gains. Okay. Now, as an investor, you are subject to capital gains. Okay, so again, double check with the CPA. But the good news is that you can shelter that money by keeping track of expenses, anything, any additions, any repairs that you're doing to an investment house helps you increase something called the cost basis and helps you at the end of the day pay less in tax. Very good. Investment opportunity. Real estate is a good way to invest. As 90% of the millionaires in the United States of America, and they all have some sort of real estate holding, whether they just own a $40 million house where they live, they're artists or athletes, or they own income property. 90% of the millionaires couldn't be wrong. Real estate is a good way to build wealth. But Jerry, what would happen if properties, crash? Nobody knows when the next crash will be taking place. Well, let me tell you this. If you stick to your guns and if you don't sell and if you pull through and if you don't do strategic foreclosure, you'll walk away. At the end of the day, historic appreciation is 3%. So no matter what the market does, you will still be gaining 3% if you stay in the property. Okay. Now, buying a house could be a scary process. A lot of people, they don't know where to start. They wonder, do I even qualify for a mortgage at this time? Can I even buy a house if I have less than perfect credit? There is a saying that says, bad things happen to good people. Okay, so now stay tuned and I'm going to show you how you can quickly rebuild your credit in the event that you went through some financial hardship and your credit is less than perfect. Okay, so who are the key players in the home buying process? Number one, you, the buyer, getting educated at this moment, looking to buy a property. Then the second most important part in this process is the loan officer, believe it or not, because my job and my team's job is to properly pre-qualify you for a house. You never want to start looking properties in Silo, Redfin, Trulia without knowing exactly how much you qualify for, without knowing exactly how much money you need to bring to the table in order to close, how much money you're going to be paying on a monthly basis. So once we give you a pre-approval, we're going to hand that pre-approval letter to a professional real estate agent that is going to have a sit down with you, is going to educate you on the inventory, on what the market is doing, on the different strategies, how to outbid even cash buyers when you have a conventional loan or as a first-time home buyer, there are different strategies. So that is the job of your real estate agent. If you don't know one, I work with a lot of good agents that can take you by the hand and help you how to do that. Now, once you go out, so there'll be a point that you're going to be going out to see the properties with your agent. You're going to be writing two or three offers. One of those offers is going to get accepted. Then the next step is opening title and escrow. So what's title and escrow? Title insurance will be obtained, and I advise on 100% of the deals. Always get title insurance because the title company, is going to ensure that the seller is actually the seller. Okay, and escrow will make sure that everything according to the contract. So we need those third parties. As your professional in real estate, we're going to be reaching out to two entities. Number one, your realtor is probably going to be suggesting that you get a home inspection because you want to make sure that the property you're buying is in good condition, that you don't have a leaky roof, that you don't have a non-functional electrical panel, that you have a cracked foundation. You don't want any surprises. So 300 bucks is going to save you a lot of money down the line. Now, as your loan officer, my job is to order an appraisal on the property, to contact an appraiser to make sure that you're buying a property that is actually worth what you're buying it for. Okay, so you don't overpay for the property. So now, what if the property doesn't appraise to the sales price? Well, that's when having a good real estate agent comes into place. Your realtor is going to reach out to the seller and negotiate a win-win, either a price deduction or a credit or repairs to the property. Talk to your agent. Okay, there are different types of programs depending on your specific circumstance. For example, if you want to buy a house over $660,000, which is the typical limit as a first-time home buyer, then you need to apply for a jumbo loan. Okay. The good news is we have an amazing jumbo loan up to $5 million. Okay, that you can borrow. That is, if you're looking to buy a luxury house. News. Right now, the luxury house market, it's a good market to get into because it has softened up over the past couple of months. So if you have ever considered buying a luxury house, right now is the time. Now, if you want to buy a house as a first-time home buyer, sales price below $760,000, then it might make sense that you apply for an FHA loan program. Okay, where the bank is going to finance 96.5%, and you have to come up with the difference for the down payment. But wait, Jerry, didn't you say that you can buy a house with 0% down or down payment assistance? And the answer is yes. On the next slide, I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now, if you are a buyer that has built equity through time and you have the ability to put 20% down, then applying for a conventional loan might be the right thing to do. because you are going to be paying less in interest. Usually, if you put a 20% down, the rate will be much lower. And number two, you avoid something called mortgage insurance. Okay. Now, if you are a veteran, you have fought for liberty, the government would like to reward you by letting you buy a property with 100% financing. Yes, the VA, the Veterans Administration, it's guaranteeing mortgages for veterans with no private mortgage insurance, no down payment, and usually the closing cost is lower than the FHA. For people that have accumulated equity, 62 years and above, you might be able to qualify for a reverse mortgage and start pulling the equity from your house instead of giving a monthly payment. Okay, so now, again, what if you don't have the money for the down payment? Can you buy a house? The answer is yes, you can do it as a first-time home buyer by applying for a loan program through the California Housing Finance Agency. We call this loan the CalHAFA. This is very attractive. It gives a lot of people the ability to get into a property with as little money as possible. So how does it work? Number one, you're going to be granted a first loan position for 96.5%. Okay, 96.5%, 30-year fixed. Okay, fully amortized, and the down payment assistance, which is the 3.5% down that you would give as a down payment, that comes in the form of a silent second. Okay, so when we say silent second, it means that you are not obligated to make monthly payments to it. You have the option to do so if you wanted to, but you're not obligated. Rates on this second, they tend to fluctuate. Okay, right now they are at like 3.5. It really depends. Now, this loan is amortized in 30 years, fully amortized, and payments are deferred when you sell or refinance the house. So that's the down payment assistance. It's a repayable loan, but only when you refinance or sell the property. Now, if you're short on cash and you need even more assistance, if you need between 2 to 3% assistance in closing costs, CalHAFA gives you that ability as well to finance. Right now, the slide says 3 to 4, but actually, right now it's between 2 to 3%. You have to have a 640 FICO and above in order to qualify. Okay, and again, payments are deferred. And the good news is that this third loan position, silent second, carries no interest rate. So with the CalHAFA, you can buy houses, condos, PUDs. Unfortunately, you cannot buy duplexes or units. Okay. Now, what if you work as a peace officer, sheriff, border patrol, correctional officer, law enforcement, firefighter, EMTs, schools? Even if you work in the administrator side of these professions, you might be able to receive up to 3.5 free money down payment assistance from California. That is called the Golden State Finance Authority. The good news is with this loan, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You could own a house, but if you're intending to buy a property which is bigger and better in a better area, you might be able to qualify again as a first-time home buyer. This loan is for owner occupied, so don't think that you can do that as an investment. And the minimum FICO is 640. Okay, so you're considering buying a house. What are the main factors that 100% of the lenders are going to consider before giving you a mortgage? There are three main factors, and this is good that you're getting educated. Number one is legal status. If you want to buy a property and you want to buy it with down payment assistance, CalHAFA, they want to see that you have a residency or that you are a U.S. citizen. Now, what if you have a work permit? Can you buy a house in the United States of America? And the answer is yes. Now, you have to be ready to give 3.5% down, but you can buy a property even if you only have a work permit or you have a special type of visa to work in the United States. Or okay, so reach out to us for any specific questions. Again, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to show you how you can book a free, no obligation, a consultation so that we can answer any specific question. Okay. We we don't put any pressure. We consider ourselves educators, so feel free to book an appointment with us. Now, what if you don't have a legal status? Can you buy a house? And the answer is yes. There is a program that will finance you 80% of the purchase price. You have to put the difference as a down payment. And a lot of people say, but that seems to be a lot of money. Well, welcome to America. This is the land of opportunity. If you came to this country to work hard, you can become a homeowner. Okay, so this is one way that you can do it. So now with the ITIN program, that's what it's called, you don't need to have a social security. All you need is the ITIN letter or card. And because this loan is funded by private institutions, you can usually buy properties that typically wouldn't qualify, like non-warrantable condos. Okay. The second factor that all lenders are going to look into borrowers is income, 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 income. Back in the days before the mortgage meltdown in 2007, 2008, if you had a pulse, you qualify for a mortgage. That was all you needed, okay? Because we had NINAS, no income, no asset loan program, stated, stated income, stated assets. That's not the case anymore. I mean, mind you, yes, those programs still exist for investors, but if you are a first-time home buyer, your income has to be traceable. You have to be able to prove it by providing copies of W-2s if you're an employee, K-1s if you have corporations, Schedule E if you're a landlord and you have investment property, 1099 INT if you're a private lender or earn interest income, and 1099 miscellaneous if you earn other types of income. Okay. So now, when it comes to income, everything helps you qualify. The more income you have, the more you qualify for a house. So overtime bonuses, second job, seasonal work, retirement, even social security income can help you qualify for a mortgage. Good or good? So now, what if for XYZ reason, you don't have income taxes? Can you buy a house? And the answer is yes. If you tell me, Jerry, have no income taxes, my job is not to judge you. My job is to help you. Now, there are several programs out there that give you the ability to buy a house without having to show income taxes. They're called bank statement loans. So if you only want to show one bank statement, be ready to put 25% down. But if you can provide between 12 to 24 months, you might be able to qualify for a bank statement loan where the bank is going to finance you 90% of the acquisition. Very good. So now, with this loan program, you can borrow up to $5 million. Okay. Your credit score could be as low as 600. And you can even use business income in order to qualify. You can buy owner occupied properties, second homes, investments, and you can even qualify 2 years after foreclosure, short sale, bankruptcy, and deed in lieu. Good or good? Because again, this is private money. This is not your typical government loan. Okay. Now, the third factor to buy a house, to qualify for a mortgage, is credit. Credit, credit, credit. Three numbers are going to dictate the rate that you pay. They're going to dictate how much money you need to bring down. Okay. So a lot of people don't know, what makes a good FICO. For example, 35% of your FICO is payment history. If you want to have good credit, pay your bills on time, all the time. Okay. A one late payment can hunt you down for 12 months. Now, can you still buy a house even if you have one or two late payments within the past 12 months? You might be able to do so as long as they're not house related, meaning rent. That's a no-no. That's gonna kill the file automatically. Now, the other 30% is what is called credit utilization. How much you owe. If you have a line of credit, like a credit card, for $10,000, if you want to be, if you want to have a good credit, never charge more than 30%. That's the key. And if you want to have an excellent FICO, never charge more than 10%. Okay. So good credit, Excellent credit, no more than 10%. The other 10% is credit mix. Length of history. The longer you have credit, the better it will be. And don't apply for new credit unless it's really necessary. So now, what if you have horrible credit? That doesn't scare me because there are laws such as the Fair Credit Reporting Act, in which it says that if a creditor automatically enters the information in the credit bureaus without verifying the information with you, you have the ability to dispute that information, even if it belongs to you. Yeah, there are credit repair companies out there. The best ones that I know, they would charge you $80 to remove an item only if they are successful. That's the difference. Never pay a credit repair company $2,000 because, I mean, they give you guarantees and I don't know. So just be careful. Okay, so now what if you don't have credit whatsoever and you want to build a FICO as quickly as possible within 30 days? Number one of the things that you can do is apply for a secure line of credit, such as Capital One. They'll give you a line of credit even one day after foreclosure or bankruptcy. Okay, so that's one thing. Or find somebody that has an established line of credit, ask them to add you as an authorized user, and voila, now you have good credit. Okay, so that's one of the things. I think I have a question here. Any one of these? Okay. All right, moving on. Okay, so now what if your credit is, again, less than perfect in the 550s? That would be considered for credit. Can you buy a house? The answer is yes. Through the FHA, there is a loan program for people that have 550 FICO. Now, the little catch is that you have to have 10% down. Okay. Now, but you can still buy even if your credit is as low as 550. Now, the good news is if your FICO is above 580, you can buy a house as a first time home buyer. And a lot of people say, I have a 600 FICO. I don't think I can qualify. Yes, you can. 580 and above, you are considered a first time home buyer with 3.5% down. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't buy because they have fear. What if I lose my job? Well, the good news is that as a homeowner, they cannot kick you out as quickly as a tenant. As a homeowner, the foreclosure process takes 6 months. So you have 6 months to either reinstate the loan, apply for a loan modification, apply for bankruptcy, and that'll probably buy you 3 more months if it's bankruptcy chapter 7. So there are options out there. If you're renting, guess what? They'll give you the 3-day notice to pay or quit, and if you don't pay within 3 days, they're gonna start the eviction process. And if they have good attorneys within 30 days, 45 days, you're out. Okay? So it's always better to be a homeowner and go through a financial hardship. Also, if you have built equity, you might be able, even if it's a hard money loan, a second loan, hard money, you might be able to do it. But if you're just renting, you don't have those options. Number two, repairs. A lot of people are afraid of the repairs. And the good news is when you buy a house, you have the ability to apply for a home warranty. Anything breaks in the property, as long as you pay a minimum deductible, you don't have to worry about repairs. And the other fear is, Jerry, the payment is going to be high. And you might feel a little bit of a payment shock at the beginning. The good news is, if you buy with a 30-year fix, guess what? Your payment will never go up in 30 years. Good or good. Now, if you're renting, is that going to happen? More likely, no. So, if you're tired of having people telling you how to live your life, such as, like a landlord telling you, hey, don't paint the walls, don't play that kind of music, the music is too low, we don't like those colors. If that's the case, it might be time to be a homeowner. If you need more space to spread your wings, you need a man cave, you need an extra room for your kids, for your family, then it might be the right time to buy a house. Again, we discussed at the beginning how right now it's a great time to buy. If you're tired of your rent going up, stop paying rent. Stop paying somebody else's mortgage. Stop giving the landlords profit and start building a legacy for you and your family. So again, right now it's really hot. It's a great time to be out there, to enjoy the pool, to have barbecues. And when winter comes, it's a good time, buy a house to entertain your loved ones, your friends and family. Okay. So again, if you have a specific question, book an appointment with our team by going to jerrytorres.pro/calendar. Okay. Check our agenda, book an appointment. There is no charge. Okay. And for the first 5 people that go to my website and book an appointment with us, will receive a free $25 Home Depot card. So I want to thank you for staying with me this, close to 30 minutes actually. And my team and I were here to serve you. If you don't think you qualify, it's okay. We can always give you a plan. We have given people plans, and within 30 days, they have been able to buy. Other people, they decide to take the loan route, and it takes them 2 years to buy, but there is always options. And I'm sorry about this phone is not working, so I'm going to cut the live webinar. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you pretty soon. Bye bye.